Hello, welcome to my channel. I am Naomi Light. If you're new around here, this is where we shine a light on what's really going on inside of you. This week, we're looking at healthy transitions, how we move from where we are to where we need to be. If this is your first time on my channel, please hit the subscribe button and like this episode. This is where we explore all the inner workings of what's happening with you. It's a mix of psychology, spirituality, and coaching tools that will enable you to be the very best version of you that there is. So change is here to stay. The only thing that's not changing is change. And knowing how to navigate the changes in your world is critical to living an emotionally and mentally healthy life. So we're going to explore that, and I want to offer you two tools that will be invaluable to you as you navigate the changes in your life. Change is everywhere, and I want you to be able to skillfully and brilliantly handle transitions and handle them healthily. By that I mean intact and whole, so that as you come out the other side of the change into your new normal, you don't leave any part of yourself behind. So these two tools I'm going to teach you are so valuable, and I have used so many times as I navigate change, as I work out where I am, where I have been, and where I want to be. And I navigate and negotiate what parts of me to take with me and what bits I need to let go. How to open up and embrace the novel and sometimes the scary, and how to deal with uncertainty. I come back to these two tools time and time again, and I'm going to teach them to you today. But before I do that, there are two principles I really want you to understand that will help you in order to fit this into your life. The first is that you have inside of you a number of different parts. Your body has parts, and so your personality has parts. There are different versions of you that show up in different places. That's healthy and normal. But those different versions of you have different ways of seeing the world, different priorities, and different perspectives. So on the one hand, you may think one thing, and on the other hand, completely think the opposite. You may have your head tell you something that your heart doesn't quite see and your gut's really not sure about. And we call this inner conflict, when the different parts of you are not entirely aligned and entirely congruent. And what we're dealing with in this session is how you can understand and hear from the different parts of you. Make space for the whole of you in all its multiplicity, complexity, and beauty. How, once you've listened to the different parts of you, you can integrate them and together move forward into the new that you want. And specifically, I'm going to teach you how to listen to your deep desires. Not the thoughts that shape you because of your beliefs, because of your experience, because of your worldview, or what you should think. The deep thoughts, the deep truth about what you most want. Underneath the layers of your personality, the deepest sense of conviction, of passion, and of understanding. The second principle is really important for being able to use the tools I'm about to teach you. And that is that there's two types of experience: direct experience and processed experience. Direct experience is when you have actual feelings and thoughts about what's happening in your life. Processed experience is once you've had time to think about the thoughts, to feel about the feelings, what you reason and work through in your mind. There's a really subtle but important difference. And let's look at it this way. There are 4 ways in which you can have direct experience. The first is sensations. That's your 5 senses. You can taste something, smell something, hear something, feel something, or you can see something. Those are your 5 senses. The second way is imaginations. Pictures, dreams, ideas, flashes of inspiration in your mind. S-I-F for feeling. Whether that's a feeling in your body, like a gurgly tummy or tense shoulders, or it's a feeling of emotion. I feel alive today. I feel stressed. I feel run down. That's feeling. And then lastly, thought. And we all know what that is. The sequence that runs through your head, the monologue, the internal dialogue, the thoughts we think all day. And together those 4 are SIFT. Sensations, images, feelings, and thoughts. Those are the ways you have direct experience. This is what you actually experience in life. And then we've got processed experience. This is when you think or feel about what you have experienced. I felt sad today, but I don't think I should have felt sad because there are people in the world that are worse off than me. Classic processed thought. Nothing wrong with it, but it's not what you actually experienced. It's what you processed, what you thought about what you experienced. Let's try another one. I think there's butterflies in my stomach. I'm probably nervous, but I'm just going to get over it, push that away and power through. Again, you had the direct experience, the butterflies in your tummy, and then what you had what you thought about it once you processed it. Push it away, get on with the task. There's nothing wrong with processing your thoughts and feelings and your experiences. We do it all the time. But in terms of change, you need to know what's actually happening for you, what's happening in your body, what's happening in your mind, what's happening in your heart. And unless you have the actual data, so direct experience, you cannot healthily transition from one place to another. So what we call this often is mindfulness. Being aware without judgment of what's really going on, tuning in like that radio dial to the frequencies of our mind, heart, and body. And only you can do this, and only if you will repeatedly, with intention, show up for yourself, can you begin to differentiate between direct experience and processed experience. Have a go. Have a little think about what happened today, what you really actually felt about it, and what you thought about it after, how it made sense to you. And as you begin to tune into this one, the direct experience, notice and elevate those things in your thinking because they will be critical to what I'm going to teach you next. So here is where we get into the nitty-gritty of the tools and how you use them. Firstly, notice and name. This is a self-awareness tool that gives you a bird's eye view of what's been happening with you as you move through transitions. What you're going to need is a piece of paper and a pen. On that piece of paper, divide it into 3 so you can write at the top of 3 columns these headings. Firstly, what was, what is, and what I want. Now, focus on the first column. Be the reporter, reporting exactly what happened as you saw it. Again, avoid judgment or processed experience and just write what actually happened. So you want to look at what was. This is where you rewind a bit in time and you perhaps think about some of the changes that have been happening, some of the transitions that you are in, and how things used to be. Talk about exactly how it was, down to the really fine detail of how you used to think and how you used to feel. These are important insights that you want to healthily work through in order that you can transition healthily. So, for example, maybe what's changed for you is that you used to go to the pub on Friday night and see your friends, and now you can't because it's lockdown. So you would write what you did, how that made you feel, what happened because of that, the relationships, maybe the environment, the pint that you used to enjoy, how that changed your Friday night. That's all in the what was column. Maybe your routine has changed. You used to go on a commute to work and listen to podcasts while you went. And you've discovered that it isn't like that anymore. The experience of your mornings has changed and you no longer get to listen to podcasts on your way to work. Write all of that down in the what was column. Don't hold back, put everything there. Then it's time to focus on what is, the direct experience of now. How are you feeling? What are you thinking? What experiences are you having? Maybe you're bored or agitated. You haven't seen your friends. You're feeling lonely, disconnected. Perhaps you're a bit disconcerted because your routine is out. Maybe you're missing the stimulation of listening to podcasts. Perhaps you're feeling great about it. Perhaps you're enjoying the space. Both positive and negative, conflicting experiences at the same time could go down in this next column, what is. And then finally, I want you to think about what I want. Now, all of us could write in that last column, I just want it to go away. I just want to be okay. I want it to be sorted. I want no stress. But actually, peel back the layers and look a bit deeper. What do you really want right down in the deepest place of yourself? Do you want to grow and change? Do you want to become the best version of you? Do you want to give to your family and friends? Do you want to achieve greatness in whatever it is you're into? This is the column to write your deepest desires. What you want to learn out of life, how you as a person want to change as you go through these things. So maybe on a Friday night, now that you can't go to the pub and you're finding that difficult, you're going to write, I want to grow in appreciation for my friends. I want deeper relationships. I want more experiences that I really love and bring me life. What is it that you really want in the future? We don't get to control our experiences, but we do get to control our responses. Or maybe now your commute has changed and you don't get to listen to podcasts on the way to work anymore. That's thrown you really out of balance. And what you would like is a new focus to carve out a new meaningful ritual that works for you. That's what you really want. You want to take the time to focus back on how you're showing up for yourself, what you're investing in, how you're using your time, and come out stronger, more in touch with yourself, and with more intentional living. That all goes in the last column. What do I want? Now step back, push the piece of paper away, and look at the overview. This is going to set you up for the second tool I'm going to teach you, and that is creating a transition moment. So you've noticed and you've named. You know what was, what is, and what you want. Now it's your turn to create a transition moment. You need to know that the thoughts that you have are really powerful for shaping your life. The really tiny flashes that run through your mind, the bursts of emotion that happen in your heart, these things are the stuff that you use to create your life. A lot of the time it happens unconsciously. And in this episode, we're bringing the unconscious into the conscious, where you're getting really intentional about creating moments that transition you from what was to what is and into what you want. For this tool, you're going to need some space. It's really important that you have privacy, that you don't know you can be overheard, that you're not thinking about what anybody else in your environment is doing, saying, or feeling. So shut the door, send them away, get a little bit of quiet and space. You're also going to need calm. You're going to need to be really centered. So perhaps doing a few minutes of meditation before you create this tool for yourself would be a good move. So now this tool uses verbal affirmation, and by that I mean you speak to yourself out loud. A lot of people find this very difficult. I've created a whole episode on the science of verbal affirmations, where you can really drill into why they work, why speaking out loud as opposed to thinking thoughts in your head is so powerful, and how you can practice this and make this part of your repertoire of psychological positive tools that help you to grow. So you've got some space, you're prepared to talk to yourself out loud, and these are the 4 things you should say. In your moment of transition, use the phrase, I choose to. And there are 4 different endings I'm going to teach you, 4 different endings that are used for different transition moments. You need to match up what it says on your notice and name sheet, what transitions you are in the middle of, with the next steps you need to take. So here are the 4 endings. I choose to acknowledge. I choose to thank. I choose to let go. I choose to embrace. And finding which phrase best fits which transition moment is a case of suck it and see. Try some out. See what happens inside of you, how that feels. You're looking for relief. You're looking for a sense of completion and wholeness and integration as the transitions resolve as you speak them out. So, for example, it might go like this. If you have a feeling to acknowledge, something that's been difficult, something that's been really great, if you have an experience to name, you use the phrase, I choose to acknowledge. I choose to acknowledge that things are changing. I choose to acknowledge that change is hard right now. I choose to acknowledge that I am not quite okay. Whatever it is that you put on the end of that sentence should recognize what is happening for you and honor it. I choose to acknowledge. I choose to thank is a way of bringing gratitude into your awareness. This is for things that are particularly helpful, you're appreciative of, or thankful for. I choose to thank. And don't forget to include yourself in that list. I choose to thank my body for being healthy and strong. I choose to thank my mind for inquiring about new things. I choose to thank my kids for being their lovely selves. I choose to thank my partner for sticking with me. I choose to thank the sky, the trees, nature, the world, my friends, my community. You put whatever works for you on the end of that sentence. I choose to thank. The next one is letting go. This is particularly helpful for difficult experiences or anything that's out of your control that you need to push into the past. I choose to let go of certainty. I choose to let go of the hurt I felt. I choose to let go of confusion. And don't forget yourself in this list. I choose to let go of the right to judge myself. And then lastly, this is for where you want to open up to new experiences. The word embrace is important because it's quite physical. It's actually you fully entering in to what is coming. If there are things that you wrote in your I want column on the Notice and Name tool, this is the time to verbally affirm them. I choose to embrace change. I choose to embrace love. I choose to embrace growth. Whatever, whoever, however you need to speak to the transitions you are going through, you can create little moments of transition. As you bring your full awareness, your intention and your speech into speaking to your life, you will find that you move through more easily and more healthily the transitions you need to make. So I know that you're going to ask, supposing I've used the tools, I've created my moment of transition, and then nothing happens. What do I do then? Well, remember I taught you at the beginning 2 principles about how you're wired that will help you to effectively transition. You learned the difference between direct experience and processed experience. You need to ask yourself the question of, what if nothing happens? Is that what I actually experienced, or is that just what I thought about what I experienced? Start delving deeper into those questions. Has nothing happened at all? Or has not what I expected happened? And then you can start using the tool on the tool. What I mean by that is take the sentence, nothing's happened. Look at that as a change process. What was? I tried a tool. What is now? I'm disappointed because nothing's happened. What do I really want? I really want to keep going until I see something happen. I really want to own the power of my intention and get really skillful at observing myself, at becoming aware of what is, and meeting my own needs. Once you've done that loop a few times, it won't take long before you become aware of the changes that are happening. They start small and they get bigger. But you'll begin to notice a lightness, a spring in your step, a feeling of inner calm and resolve as you have resolved within yourself to be present for now and to lean towards what you really want, what's in your future. So there are the tools, and that's how to use them. You are ready to make some big transitions and also some little ones too. I'd love to hear how you get on. Please let me know by messaging me or sending me an email how you found this episode, how you found the tools, and what happened in your life. It's really important that we pay attention to ourselves. The most important relationship we have is the one we have with ourselves, and these tools equip you to do that really well. Join me next time when I'm going to explore change further and particularly look at how we embrace the new that we're heading into. I would love to hear from you. I'd love you to subscribe to my channel. Most of all, I would love you to shine a light on what's going on inside so you can become the best version of you that there is.